I didn't hurt my back that time. Good morning. Okay, I have like 4 minutes to get this out. Here's the schedule real quick because you're not going to see me until the very end of the day. From 8 to 9, we have 3 Fit Club Fridays. 9 a.m., I have an in-person client. Then I'm coming back here. I have 2 more Fit Club Fridays. I have an interview then with another YouTuber. We're going to do like a live Q&A thing, so that'll be fun. I have another Fit Club Friday, and then I have a virtual client that I'm immediately leaving here, going to Fitness Lounge, last client of the year, and then I'm going to stay there and do my full body lift that I did not get to yesterday. And then I'm going to assume I'm done work after that. But after that, we'll watch the final video of the holiday season. But let's jump on into it. This first Fit Club Friday, I know she's going to want to stretch. So I'm actually really excited. That's also why I cleaned the floor up. Okay, let's do it.
Cold enough to make you shiver, but not cold enough to snow. Cold enough to know it's winter, perfect time to say our first hello. Scarves and sweaters bundled up in cotton, knowing names that wouldn't be forgotten, laughing over our own sense of humor underneath the Christmas lights that glow. I'm glad I got to know you better. We've come so far since that December. Who would have known I would have made my best friend on that night under 1,000 Christmas lights. Another year went by so quickly, it's Christmas time again.
You guys, I did it. Finished my last work day, 2025. Not my best lift. I shouldn't deadlift at Fitness Lounge. No offense to them. I like my trap bar at my gym. The trap bar they have there is like really heavy. It's really wide. It doesn't feel good. So I conventional deadlifted. It didn't feel great. The landmine was downstairs. Other people were using it. So I had to, just not my best lift. You know what? It's done. And that's all that really matters. So we're going to pop in our chair and finish out the last video of this series. We made it. Let's watch the video of the day, everybody.
Get up on your feet. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Get up.
All right, so the text on the screen, for anybody who did not see it, it said, you can lift, but can you move? And then it's this person, I'm assuming you watched the video, but it's, she's doing a bunch of fun shit. Whoo, the energy is weird. Okay, so I think the point of this post is pretty clear. Yeah, you can lift a lot of weight, but how do you actually move your body? Yesterday, we went through a bunch of different movement qualities. So today, I actually want to show you how we could put them in a program. Because we need to remember, we're going to come across a lot of different shit in daily life. And my goal for you is to have plenty of options for longevity. If you only ever train for hypertrophy, your joint mobility is probably going to suck. If you only ever train for endurance, you're probably not going to be able to lift your 50-pound suitcase overhead and put it in the overhead compartment. If you only ever train for power, you might miss out on some aesthetics that you're looking for. We have to remember that there are 1,000 different reasons to train, and there are 1,000 different ways to get there. Now, I feel like someone might look at this clip and just think there's a lot of like nonsense movement in it, but I just see a bunch of fun stuff. So as a reminder, I work with general population, which just means like I consider myself general population. I'm not an athlete. I'm not competing in anything. So that's the lens that I'm viewing all of this under. Most people are general population. I don't know why people get offended when I call them that sometimes. Being gen pop doesn't mean that you can't have hard goals. Like I still have a tough goal of running a half marathon in March, but that doesn't make me an athlete. I still sit at a desk a lot of this day. I still go to the gym like everybody else. I just had a very mediocre lift and my every week. Like, being general population is not a bad thing. If anything, I actually think it gives you more freedom to put in more of the fun stuff. So let's take a look at a program. This is actually from one of my remote training clients who has a lot of different like movement quality goals. And I'm going to show you how I hit mobility, hypertrophy, max strength, endurance, fun shit, all of that stuff in there. I actually don't know if all of those things are in there, but you're going to see a bunch of different movement qualities. So let's dive into it. Oh, and I actually got ahead of myself. We're going to chat through a program in a second. So I have a script. Let's talk about the approach first, then I'll show you how I implement it. So the first thing I'm going to look at for general population is just, can we hit our big movement patterns? Squat, hinge, push, pull, rotate. There's some subcategories in there that we've either talked about in this video or in the last month or so. I don't know. But those are the big five. Some of these we could program for more max strength. Some of these we could program more for hypertrophy. Some of these could be bilateral. Some of these could be unilateral. You have a lot of different options, but this is our bread and butter. So that's the first chunk of the puzzle. The next thing I'm going to look at is if you have any specific movement patterns or skill goals that you really enjoy or you want to get better at. Zoe, she's screaming because no one's paying attention to her. Actually, I vibe with that. All right. So with a lot of my clients, they either have I want to get my first pull-up or push-up goal, or they want to increase the reps. So that's something I'm going to take into consideration when I'm programming. Then I also just want to take note of like anything they feel really, really confident in. For example, for me, it's a trap bar deadlift, not the conventionals that I did today. The reason I do that is twofold. Number one, I want to be able to build excitement to show up to the gym because you're not always going to have that motivation to go. And number two, I want to make sure that when they're in their program, they're really feeling confident about at least a handful of things, at least the one thing I know that they really enjoy and feel confident with. Because we have to remember that like lifting shit up and putting it down is hard and it can be really scary and intimidating for people. So I want to remove as much of that barrier to entry as possible, create as much joyful movement as possible. So that's why, and my clients can testify to this, when I take you on like an onboarding call, I ask, what do you love? What are the lifts that you really love and make you feel excited? And the other part of it is, what are things you want to get better at? All right, then the third piece of the puzzle is going to be the fun, silly shit for entertainment. And the amount of this is really going to differ person to person. Some people love like, I want to do the exact same thing for 4 weeks. Great. Makes my life easier. Some people need some of that variability, whether it's like in their warm up, whether it's with different pressing variations, because they need that novelty to be excited to keep showing up. Like repetition is not their jam. So we're going to pick and choose, okay, what can we not really strategically do in terms of like the common progressive overload, adding weight or reps each week? And what is the stuff that we can kind of vary in a little bit more of like a fun, silly way? I just don't think that for general population, everything needs to be like so serious. So within a program, we really want to pick and choose, okay, what are the things that are constant and this is going to be our tried and true progressive overload in the typical way? And then what's like the fun, silly shit that we can kind of change up a few times throughout a 4-week block. So with that being said, now we're at the part where we look at a program. So we're just going to look at one day. We're not even going to look at like the whole week or an entire block because that would take way too long. But I want you to see how I get in different movement qualities and like fun stuff while we also have the big important stuff in here. So we're starting with some movement prep. Obviously, this is a real client, so I'm also taking into consideration anything that I saw from her mobility assessment or screen to make sure that we are priming the things that are most important to her. So floor rainbows, overhead mobility, side plank clam dips, getting that glute med fire. This client has a really hard time activating her right glute, so she gets a lot of like knee valgus or knee caves. So we're going to spend some time there, and then some standing spinal cars, really just working on getting a little bit more articulation through the spine because A, she's a desk worker, and B, she does have a pretty severe like forward head position. So just like bringing more movement into the spine in general. Then we're going to move into some plyos and isos. So this client also has a right knee issue that we're not quite sure like what's going on, but little bit of pain in lunges in that front knee. So we're going to do, I wrote these as front lunge leaps. I'll pop it up on the screen what all of these things are. Actually, hopefully editing Justina's been doing this the entire time. But essentially, I think I have her doing this assisted and I just didn't write it, but we're just working on some force absorption with that front foot and getting that knee able to like relax into a little bit deeper range of motion. And oh, Zoe's litter was just delivered. I didn't hear a doorbell. Hello? Okay. Yeah, basically we're trying to decrease inhibition at that knee through some plyos. And then we're going to immediately go into an iso split squat. So isometrics are a great way to help strengthen joints just by holding, and it's going to create like very minimal fatigue in terms of like long, like throughout the week, like DOMs. All right, so then we're into an upper lower complex. Also, I say complex. I know it's not technically a complex, so no one yell at me. I just like to name the different sections like fun things. All right, so it's basically a superset of upper and lower body. We've got a suitcase split squat. So ideally, this is the very very first week of a brand new client also. Probably a bad example, but I'm gonna get a lot of feedback here. So hopefully that little plyo and iso set has given her knee a little bit more ability to move without pain. That was like barely English. We got there eventually. Long day's journey into night with that one. But we're keeping the reps pretty low. 6 on each side, suitcase split squat, so holding the weights down by the side. And then 90-90 side leaning press. So this client has a little limited external and internal hip rotation. So I love a 90-90 press for that. And she also has limited shoulder flexion or overhead mobility. So we're gonna open up the angle at that arm and still get that vertical pushing pattern. So I would say this is like doing two things. This is more of like one of those fun, silly exercises, but it's also very specific to this client's current mobility restrictions. Then we're gonna do a little back burnout, some lat pull downs. This client really wants to get her first pull up. I believe on another day, we're actually doing some eccentrics maybe, I can't remember, but this is to complement the pull up goal. And then we have a little time under tension finisher. So this client also, again, all these different movement qualities. So anyway, this time under tension finisher, you're basically going to do one squat clean, which I'll pop up on the side here. And then in between reps, I'm explaining this terribly. We're putting 60 seconds on the clock. At the beginning of the 60 seconds, one squat clean. You're holding that up in goblet position for the next 10 seconds. At the next 10 seconds, squat clean. So we're getting that cardio element with the squat clean, but we're also getting that like muscular endurance by holding the weight here. And then you're gonna take 2 minutes rest between the sets. I hope I explained that better in her program, my God. So anyway, coming back to the video of the day, I absolutely love this concept of like sprinkling in the fun stuff. I think we get so concerned sometimes with like optimization that it's just about like knowing what needs to be optimal and then what needs to be fun. Because again, most of us are general population, so training should be fun. We should have fun entry points into our training. So if the fun, silly shit, if your whole workout is, I have one big lift at the beginning, a squat or a deadlift, and then you're doing silly shit the rest of the time, fuck yeah, I'm down for it. That was a lot of cursing. I'm so sorry. I always lose subscribers when I curse, but oh well. So anyway, this is a sleigh. It's going at the top. Oh my God, we did it. We did it. All right. Well, I already did like my little thank you outro yesterday. I'm feeling great. I think we all deserve a little treat. Let's do a field trip. You guys have probably seen this piano for the last 24 days and you're like, does this bitch even play it? I do. I have been really bad this year practicing. So we're going to play a little Christmas tune together. A few things. No one needs to tell me I'm not that good because I know I'm not. I have not played this song specifically, probably 3 years, but I did learn it. Look at the date on this. Can we see that? That is 2002. I was 13 when I learned this, and I can't believe that I've regressed so much that I'm going to stumble through it right now. No cuts. This is going to be unedited. It is in C major, so bless. But it also means that it's not in a great key for me to sing in. So if I even decide to sing when we get into the moment here, I'm gonna be hopping octaves, baby. I don't know what that accent was. All right. Enjoy. This is so stupid. My Christmas gift to you is you're listening to me play the piano really poorly. You're gonna see how bad my sight reading is. Okay. But in all seriousness, this is where we're gonna end the video. Happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. Thank you all for being here. Okay. I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents on the tree. Christmas Eve will find me where the light gleams. I'll be home for Christmas. If only in my dreams. Merry Christmas, everybody.